we go. What is going on? Welcome back to the show. Cover One crew. Hope everybody is good. And we're concluding with the rankings at this point. We're talking top 10 tight end rankings. And, it feels totally as if it's going to be a youth movement transition at the tight end spot as we get into fantasy this season, as the guys are aging, like a Travis Kelce, like a George Kittle. Evan Ingram's getting up there in age. We could see the youngsters start to take over this spot. We're talking number one on my board. It is Sam Laporta. He's Laporting right to the top of the board, and that's no surprise to anybody. You got to believe the Detroit Lions absolutely utilized this man with perfection, I should say, last season with Amon-Ra St. Brown, the tandem running back approach that they do possess. Sam Laporta is the real deal. He got himself 86 receptions for 889 and 10 TDs. My goodness, man, 196 total points and finished as the number one tight end last season. I don't foresee this dropping. I don't think a lot of people do either. And Sam Laporta is definitely, at 23 years of age, one of the better young tight ends in this league, likely to come with a Jared Goff. And Goff at least understands how to distribute the football in a very good way. So this is good news for all us dynasty, Laporta owners, and for redraft this year. I think it's going to be absolutely stellar once again for a Sam Laporta. Number two might shock some of y'all. I'm going back to the well with Mark Andrews, much like I was talking with the running backs back early on this week with Derrick Henry getting the uplift. I think Mark Andrews gets the massive uplift this season. They're going to go back to the well and do what they do best in Baltimore, and that is run the football, utilize the tight end, and then distribute to everyone else after that. When we saw them that successful, it was Andrews, it was a run game, and then it was Hollywood Brown. This is what they're going to go back to. You got to believe. I don't foresee them being this team that's going to change and alter a lot of things. Mark Andrews, at 28 years of age, did deal with some level of injury last season. I think, okay, if he can stay healthy once again for those 17 games, 16 games, we should see the resurrection in his game this year to be back to what he was. 45 receptions for 544 and 6 TDs is not Mark Andrews' type, and I think he's going to exceed that once again. We could see back into that level of the top of 750 to 850 to 900, seeing back in the end zone 8 to 10 times once again, which will uplift him back into that top 3 category for tight ends. But I do love the potential. As long as he can stay healthy in this offense, I think they're going back to what worked well, and they should absolutely exploit Mark Andrews. So number two for me at 28 years of age, I don't think it's a stretch whatsoever. Mark Andrews definitely has a big bounce back season forthcoming, and I'm getting all on board with this one. Number three, Travis Kelce. Okay, at 34 years of age, everybody's going to say, well, I'm still going to take a shot at him. I'm dropping him here because he's a Swiftie, man. Simple as that. I'm just kidding. He can be a Swiftie all he wants. I'm just saying age is creeping up. You saw him not play his best football last season, picked it up as they were getting hot at the right time and then into the playoffs, and then he looked extremely solid. Could we see him kind of fade the season once again as they go for the three-peat? We'll see. For me, you see the downtrend coming for a Kelce. His brother retires. He's getting up there in age. He's making plans for his future in life. This does affect some players, and I'm telling y'all, man, last year, 73% on the boom rate, still very good. 172.9 points, not the best Travis Kelce season that we have seen, because we used to draft this man as being a wide receiver one, basically, on your team. I think those days probably are starting to fade. Can he still produce a high set of numbers? Abso-freaking-lutely. 93 receptions for almost 1,000 yards and 5 touchdowns is still nothing to sneeze at for a tight end, without question, but I do feel like a regression is coming, especially with the talent they added at the wide receiver spot. Yes, Rashee Rice dealing with a suspension. Hearing rumor could be 12 games for him, which would bring back target share to a Kelce. But let's just pretend what we know today. Rice is going to play, majority of the season. You got Rice, you got Worthy, you got other talents, you got Kelce. You still want to run the football. He's going to have his role. There is no question. I just wonder if we're going to start to see the beginning of the fall off, because I think we saw a little bit of that as we got into last season, 2023. So for me, at number 3, Travis Kelce, definitely fair in rank. Number 4, Dalton Kincaid, and I know a lot of y'all got a guy like Trey McBride ahead of Dalton Kincaid. For me, I think it's all about target share in this sense, where the Buffalo Bills started to utilize him down the stretch. 73 receptions, 673, and 2 TDs. So much like a James Cook, where the touchdown upside wasn't there, at least we saw the PPR upside extremely solid in that respect. Sam Laporta had 86, Dalton Kincaid had 73, so you cannot sneeze at that. It is very good. Only 37.5% on the boom rate killed you because he was not getting into the end zone. Too many contests where the 4 receptions for 45 yards, 5 receptions for, 52 yards. Like, that was type of situation you were getting from a Dalton Kincaid. Full PPR leagues, he was saving you a little bit with all the PPR upside, but it was as the season did wear on. I do believe without a Stephon Diggs, without a Gabe Davis, now you got Keon Coleman, Khalil Shakir, Dalton Kincaid. Somebody's going to have to step up and be the number one target for a Josh Allen, and you got to say all signs are pointing to Dalton Kincaid being that guy. We could easily see 120 targets come his way this season, and I'm all in at number 4 for a Dalton Kincaid with the Buffalo Bills, with one of the best quarterbacks in the league in a Josh Allen. Number 5, Trey McBride. Love me some Trey McBride. And if you want to bump him up even to number 3 over Travis Kelce, I can't fault you for that because he is very good. Only 24 years of age. Found his game last year. 81 receptions, 825, 5 TDs, 41% on the boom rate. Played all 17 in that, I was going to swear that, the crap show of the Arizona Cardinals. I'm going to get banned off Twitter if I start swearing, but I'm telling y'all, he did perform extremely well. Yes, they added a guy like a Marvin Harrison Jr., and we got Kyler Murray coming back this year to play once again, so we'll see how this does shake down. When Kyler did come back, we saw a lot of passes going to Trey McBride's side, and I do think that it is going to be coming once again here in 2024. He is a stellar tight end talent, stellar tight end, youthful prospect. Like I'm saying, these guys are going to start to take over as the season does wear on. I'm a big Trey McBride fan, and I do think he's going to play extremely well opposite a Marvin Harrison Jr. Should pull some coverage away from each other, and he should have a lot of red zone appeal. So Trey McBride at number 5, absolutely in the books, even though he finished as a ranked number 9 last year. I like him at number 5 this season. Number 6, Kyle Pitts. Okay, the Atlanta Falcons did a little retooling as well. Got themselves a Kirk Cousins off the Achilles injury. Drafted themselves a Michael Penix Jr. What are they going to do, man? So Penix is for the future. Kirk Cousins in for the short term, even though he signed a deal that was extremely large. I do like it, man, especially with the Kirk Cousins. If he can stay healthy, if the recovery looks good so far in OTAs, we'll see how he does in training camp. And if he can play the full season off the Achilles injury and be even 85% of what he was with the Minnesota Vikings in a weaker division, mind you, as well. You got Drake London, you got Bijan, and you got Kyle Pitts. These 3 could be like basically 75% of the Atlanta Falcons offense this season. And okay, everybody's dogging at Kyle Pitts. I am too. I was also. But you got to say, at what point does he figure it out? He is only still 23 years of age. He's played how many seasons in the NFL? Yes, his boom rate, 23%, not great. 110 points, not great. It's not good. I'm not going to sugarcoat it whatsoever. Kyle Pitts has done nothing for us in his NFL tenure thus far for fantasy football. But I do see something happening this season. I do think that, somebody like Kirk Cousins at least can get him the football. They've had quarterback issues in Atlanta for some time. Kyle Pitts at number 6, definitely going to shock a lot of people, I believe, this year. If you're out on him, I completely understand. I'm doing one more season. If it doesn't pan out this year, I'm definitely going to join y'all on the off bandwagon. Not going to support Kyle Pitts anymore. Number 7, George Kittle. As he continues to age, yes, I get it. The stat line is still there. 56% on the boom rate. He fades from time to time in contests. We've seen it. How many times? Still finished as the number 5 tight end. Brock Purdy, as long as he's a quarterback, he's going to distribute to all of these guys. Ayuk, Debo, and a Kittle. When Debo goes down with injury, Kittle starts to see his numbers uptick as well. So, again, do we believe that Debo's going to finish a full 17? Probably not. He's likely, the 13 to 15 games played with time in the medical room. 170 points for George Kittle. You can absolutely uplift him to number 5 and be okay with that as well. I'm only putting him here because I do believe the youth movement is going to take that much more uptick this season, and George Kittle has also found himself in the medical room from time to time. But 1,000 yards for this tight end, I completely understand why you guys would pick him higher than number 7. But as we said today, I think there could be a fairer value to return on investment here for George Kittle at number 7. Number 8, Evan Ingram. This mofo hit 114 receptions last year with these Jacksonville Jaguars. And I think that's kind of going to be the MO. Yes, they added a Gabe Davis. Yes, they got Christian Kirk. Out the door is Calvin Ridley. And then they went back to the well as the season went on with Evan Ingram. 114 receptions, full PPR leagues. He was killing it for y'all. Even in half PPR, you're definitely smiling. Finished as the tight end 2 last year. 173 points, and I do think it's going to continue in this offense. He's got, besides a Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram's got the best chemistry with a Trevor Lawrence, and I do like the fact that, Lawrence got his contract. He can start to progress that much more. Another season under his belt. Yes, it hasn't transpired the way we thought, but I do like this offense in Jacksonville. I think they are still on the rise, not necessarily stagnant or going backwards, so I do like it a lot. Evan Ingram at number 8 should definitely, beat his value when it comes to return on investment, but I think based on value as we said today, number 8 is definitely fair. Number 9, going on a limb, Pat Freiermuth. The Muth, I love it this season. Loved it last year. Injuries derailed it. Poor quarterback play derailed it. He's Mr. Red Zone, only 16% on the boom rate last year. It was not good. 60 points, only played in 12 games. They just could not get him the football, and the Steelers could not get in that red zone basically for the majority of the season. This is a different year, man. You got Russell Wilson. You got Justin Fields. Who's going to be the starter? I'm going to bank my money, as we said today, it's going to be Russ Wilson, unless he goes down with injury. Then Fields does come into play. But if it is a Russ Wilson, we know he can at least distribute the football. And what do they have in terms of weapons? It is Najee Harris, it is George Pickens, and then it is Roman Wilson. That's it. That's all they got as weapons right now that can be utilized as the top-end appeal, where Pat Freiermuth already has been with the Steelers for quite some time, and he understands the system, knows how to play it, and will be a fixture in this red zone. I absolutely see a bounce back coming with high TD upside coming our way at the tight end spot. Number 9 for me at the rank is a little bit of a reach. I get it, but I do believe he's going to excel this season, especially when it comes to TDs. I will not be surprised. 7 to 12 TDs in that range for a Pat Freiermuth, and he is going to absolutely be killer for you guys later on, as his ADP is extremely low. You can get him in the later rounds. Right now, for me, he is number 9. Number 10, finishing off with David Njoku, Cleveland Brownies. Okay, we finally saw what David Njoku could do when he's utilized properly with Deshaun Watson in this offense, and he was killing it as the season did go on. 81 receptions, 882, and 6 TDs. So you're seeing relatively similar stat lines for a lot of these tight ends, and I'm okay with that because that means top 10-wise, at least you can still snag yourself a decent tight end that's going to hit for you around 45 to 50% on that boom. I think that Njoku, again, it could be this, type of tight end where he's going to hit and then he's going to miss. He's going to hit, he's going to miss, and then he's going to hit again. It's kind of what you're going to do, a little yo-yo of hitting on that boom rate week in, week out. But I think as, Deshaun Watson gets a little more comfortable, Amari Cooper's still there, so we'll see. The running game's definitely in shambles with Nick Chubb and his recovery. We'll see how that does go as well. But Njoku at number 10, definitely safe for tight ends and should return dividends, no kidding. But I like a lot of these guys here in this top 10, and you can wait as you go in your drafts. You will see. Do not pick, if you're not picking the top guys like a Laporta, Kelsey, Andrews, Kincaid, McBride, you can wait on some of these guys and get them at better values, and the return on investment should be here to be had with good PPR upside and red zone appeal, no question. But there you have it, nevertheless. As always, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, jump in those comments, give me your thoughts. What do you think of these ranks? You in, you out on some of these guys? Too high, too low? Let me know where you see it, because I put a lot of thought into this with a lot of stats and a lot of team dynamics, and I think I got it pretty right at this point. But it is very fluid, like I've been saying. But nevertheless, we'll see you next time. I am out.